Why would anyone that's living in the Philippines want to move to Thailand? This question's been talked about a lot, but I want to kind of do a little different approach to it this time around. So, you know, you've got the Philippines, beautiful country, beautiful people, beautiful beaches, easy dating, easy tourist visa where you can stay up to 3 years without even having to leave. So why would you want to leave and move to Thailand? We're going to talk about that. Maybe some reasons that haven't been talked about yet. We'll do that next. Are you ready? Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, what's up? It's JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia here at Tom & Tom's Coffee on Sukhumvit. Tom & Tom's is a franchise coffee shop, but it's a good one. And you can actually, they've got Tom & Tom's in the Philippines as well as here in Thailand. So, like for instance, Dumaguete, they've got one right there on the main boulevard. So anyway, so maybe that's why I came here, kind of because you can get a Tom & Tom's in either country. So we're talking about why expats or foreigners that have lived in the Philippines for a while choose to move to Thailand. And I guess the obvious reasons are the food is better, the infrastructure is better, you get more bang for your buck, the transportation is easier. Those are the main things that everybody talks about, but let's kind of dig in a little bit, because when you're an expat that's moved to the Philippines and you start dating, you inevitably will date someone younger than you. Sometimes someone much younger, many times someone much younger than you. And age gap dating isn't that big a deal. It's not a big deal in the Philippines. People do it all the time. Foreigners date young Filipinas. It's kind of a common practice. Maybe it's kind of looked down on by the locals, but they don't really talk too much about it. But in the expat community, if you're an older guy and you got a young, beautiful Filipina as your girlfriend or your partner, you're like, it's trophy wife material. You're like, good on you, buddy. So that's not the reason. Let's see, the beaches are beautiful there. That's not the reason, because you've got as beautiful beaches in the Philippines as you do anywhere in Thailand, maybe even more so. That's not the reason. Let's see, what else? The exchange rate, the peso is really bad right now, so you get a great exchange rate. It's like 61 pesos to the dollar right now. So that's not the reason. What could it be? Well, there's a couple of things. Aside from the obvious, the food is so much better here in Thailand. The infrastructure is better. You can really get around really easy, especially here in Bangkok with the train system as compared to to Manila and Metro Manila. It's so much easier to get around Bangkok than it is in Metro Manila. And we talk about that all the time, right? So there's a famous YouTuber, you may know him. He mentioned one of the reasons why he left the Philippines for Thailand is it just kind of wears on you. The Philippines kind of wears on you after a while, and he called it death by 1,000 cuts. So it's just all these little things, like always out of product. You know, when you go to a restaurant or you're at a grocery store or a bar even, and you try to order something that you want on the menu and it's not available. Sorry, sir, unavailable is a very common phrase used in the Philippines, right? So it's those death by 1,000 cuts, that the constant brownouts when you're in an area that may be susceptible to that, just the whole electrical grid, the power grid in the Philippines is not good. And so there's always going to be those brownouts or blackout issues. So it's little things like that definitely add up. Another thing is, with the tourist visa, yeah, you can stay up to 36 months without having to leave the country, but you have to renew every 30 or 60 days. And at some point, they start asking you why you're still on a tourist visa, because they really don't want you to stay on a tourist visa. They want you to get some sort of a permanent visa. So if you're there longer than 6 months to a year, they start asking questions. And they've been doing that now for the last couple of years, since right before I moved here to Thailand almost 2 years ago. So the long tourist visa thing isn't quite as cool as it used to be, I guess you could say, because they are asking questions on that. Visas, retirement visas in the Philippines is pretty easy, especially if you're a veteran. If you're a veteran, you can get an SRRV retirement visa in the Philippines, and you only have to deposit, I think it's $1,500 US in a Philippine bank account. If you're not a veteran, I think it's 20 or maybe 30,000 now. So it's right up there with Thailand, even more so. But the thing is with that's different than Thailand. In Thailand, you have to deposit 800,000 baht, which is about 24,000 US dollars in a Thai bank account. And then after your 90 days and you get your 1 year retirement visa, you can take that money out if you want. In the Philippines, you have to keep that $20,000 in there unless you use it to purchase land, like a condo or something like that, purchase property or investments. So you can't touch it. So it's kind of like there, but it's not yours. And if you take it out, then you lose your retirement visa. Now, if things have changed, guys, let me know in the comments below, but that's what I understood it to be when I was living there before. So that's kind of it. It looks on the surface like a better deal because it's less money that you have to put in than you do in Thailand. But if you do a deep dive in it, you realize that it's not necessarily that way, because you can't use the money for anything except investing. And personally, I would not buy property, condos in the Philippines. I wouldn't buy them here. You just never know. The problem with buying, say if you bought a condo in Thailand or the Philippines, you don't know what the property management is about in that building. So it may be a new building when you purchase your condo, but in 4 years it may be dilapidated because they don't upkeep right. And I see that all the time in the Philippines. Not so much here, I haven't seen really, but I'm sure it happens. So you have to really be careful if you're going to purchase a condo, where you're going to purchase it at. So there's that. Another thing is, and this kind of came to my attention recently, is legal problems. If you run into any legal issues in the Philippines, your best bet might be to, skedaddle, exit stage right, as Snagglepuss would say. That dates me, right? Before it gets out of hand, right? So maybe you had a disagreement with your girlfriend, or a fight with your girlfriend, and you broke up, and now she wants to press charges on you, and or maybe you are looked at in a bad light by the locals where you live, in the barangay or the province or wherever, and so you could become persona non grata, which is a person that is somebody that basically nobody likes. So you're looked upon badly there, and the next step might be deportation. So you might want to get out of town, get out of Dodge before it escalates to that point, because you definitely don't want to get deported, because you don't get deported right away. They don't just grab you at your place and take you to the airport and send you on your way. No, you're put in detention for as long as they feel like it. There's no laws that says you have to have a quick deportation. So that's a scary situation to be in. If you had a girlfriend that you had issues with, and she decides that she wants to, press charges or accuse you of something that you didn't do. I've heard several guys, well, maybe not several, but 2 or 3 guys that's had an issue when they had their partner with a young child and things went south with the partner, so she, the Filipina, accused the foreigner of doing bad things, if you know what I mean. We'll just leave it at that. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter, because as a foreigner, you're basically guilty until proven innocent. They always take the word of the local, of the Filipino, over the foreigner. 99% of the time, guys, unless you've got video evidence or witnesses or whatever. If it's just he said, she said thing, that might not be a good thing. So just understand that. So that part is probably, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, that that is a reason why a lot of people are leaving the Philippines for Thailand. They're just fed up with the legal system. There's a lot of scams going on in the local government all the way up to the top, local barangays, provinces, but it happens here too, but I don't think to that extent, because the Philippines is such a poor country, so people will try to take advantage of you to get the upper hand. So you've got those things. Another reason people decide to move from the Philippines to Thailand is because they visited Thailand and maybe it was their first trip there. And if they stay for a few, more than a few days, a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, I think they come to realize that, wow, this is pretty nice. Thailand's pretty awesome. Bangkok's pretty awesome. The islands are pretty awesome. And then when they go back to the Philippines, they realize that just how different it really is. And that was what happened with me when I went to Thailand and stayed for an extended period of time. I went back to the Philippines. I didn't realize how different things were. Not to say that it's horrible in the Philippines, but to me at least, it was just so much better in Thailand. And so that was the number one thing on my mind, as far as number one factor that made me decide to leave the Philippines and move to Thailand. It's just that everything was better. It's like another level here, and that was the main reason for me. The obvious things were the culinary differences, the diversity here. The food is so much better here. Even the Western food, having the Western food here and then going back to the Philippines and eating at those franchise restaurants, you can tell the difference. It's just a better quality here. Even the Western food or the other Asian food or whatever, it's just a better quality here than anywhere in the Philippines, even in like BGC. The cost of living is probably, with the exchange rate currently, and right now the Thailand exchange rate's pretty decent. It's about 33.5 baht per dollar, which is pretty darn good, but it's still not as good as the Philippine peso. The Philippine peso is just taking a dive, and so if you're an expat, say an American, and you're spending money in the Philippines, you're living a pretty good life as of lately, because the exchange rate is so in your favor. I think 61 peso to the dollar, something like that. I don't know what it is right now. I haven't checked lately, but last time I looked, it was around there. That's really good. When I first moved to the Philippines, it was 50. So it's like 2 to 1, and now it's like almost it's just incredibly good if you're coming in with US dollars or foreign dollars. But having said that, even though you've got those exchange rates, you still get a better quality life here, in my opinion. So the condo I live in is better conditioned than the ones I lived in even BGC, Bonifacio Global City. The build outs are better. The furnishings better, the utilities are cheaper, especially electricity. The Philippines has some of the highest electric rates in Southeast Asia, and so that's an issue. Now, you can come back to me and say, well, I have a house and I've got solar. Well, that's great now, but how much that cost you? I mean, you got to, and if you own the house, you know, how many people are going to own a house? I wouldn't, you know, personally, because it's not really yours, is it? Because you don't own the land. So you can run into issues where they could kick you out at any time, probably, and you wouldn't have a leg to stand on. I mean, that's always a possibility. So, but yeah, utilities are better here. Just day-to-day life, guys. Day-to-day life is a little better here because you don't have all the small little issues that come up day to day, hour to hour, like you do in the Philippines. So anyway, if you're thinking about leaving the Philippines, or if you left the Philippines, where did you go? Did you come to Thailand? Did you go somewhere else? Maybe Vietnam's a good choice, Cambodia, Malaysia. There's a lot of places in Asia that you could go to. Let me know in the comments. Are you kind of getting that Philippines fatigue? Are you ready to make that move? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. The legal thing, you know, staying too long on your visa, you know, they start questioning when you get your extensions. And when you have to extend every 30, 60 days, that could be a hassle. You know, just those little things, guys, that, you know, and they keep raising the cost of extensions, and depending on which office, which BI office you go to, they may charge you a different price, you know. It's just kind of up to them. So, you know, that could be an extortion or a scam in itself. So it's hard to say, but anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. I appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up if you like my content. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell too, so you get notified when I post more videos. And as always, live life, my friends. Sabay sabay, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.